This week on Fade to Obsidian, we are discussing chapters 61 through 65 of Lightbringer. We strongly recommend you have read up to this point in the book. Please note we will be discussing violence, death, and use coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Fade to Obsidian, your Red Rising podcast about spaceships, relationships, and everything in between. I, as always, am Crescent, joined by Skipper.
Hello.
And return guest today, we have our favorite Bond.
Hello, Bond.
How are you doing today?
It's been a long day, but a good day, so not a bad day.
Good. What are you drinking? Celebrate the long day.
Currently, I have the last of my bamboo rum, so killed this little bottle today.
Nice.
It's delightful for sipping. And then once that's gone, I'm gonna polish off the last of my Brothers Bond whiskey that I had last time I was on.
Nice.
So it's finally down at the end.
I actually managed to find that. I haven't bought it yet, but I found it here.
It's yummy, rather yummy.
Excellent.
So, yeah, that's what I got today.
Nice.
Skipper,
right.
what are you drinking?
So I struggled to find anything because we have some really random chapters. So I was looking up like potato cocktail, which there is ones that if you use purple potato, it'll change the color of the cocktail. Didn't have purple potatoes in the house. I was looking up like literally everything to be like, I wonder if like, don't look up Duel Masters cocktail. You just get things for Star Wars and Duel of the Fates. Lots of cocktails, but not what I was looking for. So I stumbled upon
Different
one
vibe.
called Code of Honor. And I thought that was pretty good because we get our Diomedes, Cassius, and Darrow hanging out in our prison cell. And then I got in trouble with Twist, who is Terran of Fabled Spirits, when I asked if I could substitute ice wine for brandy, and apparently that's a no. So instead I have substituted in whiskey. So it is... it's pretty much everything else I've continued to drink of pomegranate juice, lemon juice. This one has soda water in it, so it does look a little bit more, but it's got that water. Whiskey, and then at the very last moment, Twist told me to add orange bitters, which I will say changed the game. It was very lemony until the orange bitters, which I don't know how the orange knocked out the lemon, but I don't know science, so... It's very good. So this is like...
So, since you've changed it up so much, we have to change the name.
Well,
How about, like, Tarnished Honor?
Tarnished Honor. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, we can call it Tarnished Honor. Yeah. But it is very tasty. But I'm just, like, living off this pomegranate juice. There's only a little bit left in the bottle, but I think we can get one more episode.
Good.
Yeah.
We can get one more episode in on
Did you make grenadine with it?
How do I make grenadine? Can I do that with only like 3 ounces left?
I mean, you wouldn't get that much, but yeah.
Interesting. All right.
It's like one and a half ounces of grenadine to 1 ounce of sugar, or like 1.5 parts of grenadine to 1 part of sugar. Sorry, vice versa.
Okay.
And pomegranate juice, not grenadine.
Yeah, I knew what you mean.
To get ready.
I don't think I really knew that grenadine was pomegranate juice. I thought it was cherry.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't you speak French?
Yeah, pamplemousse. It's great. That's grapefruit. I don't know where
grapefruit. What's
I've
pomegranate?
Had 2... Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know why my brain immediately was like pamplemousse, and it's like, that's grapefruit.
That would be wrong.
For our non-French speaking howlers.
Hello.
Yeah. Pomegranate en français is grenade.
Grenade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well done. Today I learned.
Today you learned.
Yeah.
Learning is half the battle.
It's shrapnel, I guess.
Huh.
If you've never seen the inside of a pomegranate, it's just like
small.
tiny
makes
things.
sense. With the seeds.
Yeah, interesting. Never thought about
Cool.
that before. Awesome. Okay,
Anyway.
you, Crescent, ran away. We had jumped on,
Yeah, so
and then you
I-
were like, I figured it out, and ran away before Bond could join us.
I was just gonna
Doing a thing.
drink scotch. And then you gave me the idea with the code of honor. Except I went with a little bit different aspect of their relationship because they're always trying to get the last word.
You
So
love
that's
that
what I'm
one.
drinking. It's so good.
That's one of your favorites.
They're really good.
Nice.
It's so pretty.
Nice. So pretty.
It's also
it's tasty.
jet fuel.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Booze. Delicious.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, I guess we're gonna jump right in. We're not gonna do a Bond. You will not even have seen last week's episode because it's still being edited.
Yeah. Well
that's
done.
kind of that's how the next few episodes are gonna go. Just because we gotta power them through before I go on vacation. Yeah. Not a ton to catch you up on, except for we did a words are hard merch break about 5 minutes into the episode. We'll hold off for today on the merch break. We'll try and do it a little later.
Yeah, we'll
just pace ourselves.
Yeah,
we don't need
we'll mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we launch right in, and then I think because these are such short chapters, we're just gonna let the tangents happen as they do, because I'm sure there will be a lot.
Do like a good tangent.
Yeah, I had a lot of thoughts
like a
while
good
driving. These are short
I'd
but
like to
juicy.
at least like
chapters.
to touch on them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually have notes today. It's weird.
Whoa!
I know, right? Like I've got like
Getting
some
spicy
stuff.
with it.
I don't have notes.
I figured like high points, basically.
And I would like it pointed out that because last time we were making fun of how many times I write things down and nothing comes about it, I actioned every single thing that I wrote down last week. So that's my New Year's resolution.
I'm so proud of you.
Is to actually
Well
do
done.
things. Unlike, can I ask why I have a sticky note that just says poll what people want? Why did I think?
That's
pretty open-ended.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
But hey,
that may have had something to do with what people would like to see once we're done Lightbringer.
Yes, but it is also with our Patreon notes of what games we should play. So it might be with that, but it's also in the same pile that says 2163 to Crescent. So it might also be how much I should pay you for things. We don't know. I'm going to throw this one out because I think I paid you.
If you're asking how much people want in relation to how much you should pay me, is it how much you should be paying other people?
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, my New Year's resolution is to action everything I write down, for the record. Yeah. So on that note, I didn't write any notes down to begin these chapters. Normally I at least have one. So we're gonna go right in. But we just had the discussion. We're gonna start with Lysander. Get him out of the way. Get him out of the way.
Just knock that person out.
Yes.
Go with that, as opposed to other things you could call him.
Well, where do we find him at the beginning of his chapter here, which is like chapter 64, I think?
Chapter 64, The Noble Lie. That is him returning to the Lightbringer. And starting off with a lovely little conversation with Roan of, keep your nose clean, do what you need to do.
Yep.
and there won't be problems, sort of thing. Kind of how that felt to me. But also, we got a look at the Lightbringer itself. New decorations. They've actually put the Lune Crescent on it inside the Society Pyramid, yet it's still like mostly unpainted.
And it's black for war.
Yeah, for war. Yeah. But yeah, I still think it's funny that yeah, we went outside, we fixed some repairs. We're gonna leave it kind of bare bones for the most part, but we need to know who this belongs to and where it's going.
Oh, your dog is eating something off your table.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. He's kind of a shithead. Anyways,
like in the background.
It's just like, hey man.
You left all this
leftover birthday cake. Yeah. Like an empty plate. He's probably just licking it.
Yeah, I do like, I mean,
Rude.
Let's talk ships, because we started this podcast because of ships and then moved on.
About ships.
True, we've talked about them like 4 times.
I know. It is interesting to see the Lightbringer in the new hands fully. In his staterooms, and I know this is slightly further on, but I just love the fact that he starts talking about his staterooms and how he just really wanted to impress Diomedes with them, basically. And it was like, I thought he would like that I have the Akari here. Like, he's just like this child who's like, look at my new plaything, and aren't you like,
just
look at my new toy, isn't it cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, does this... It's like he's trying to stroke the ego of a person who
basically
is
has
frankly above that. Yeah, he's above it. Like, honestly, he probably would have gone the completely other direction. Like, why are you celebrating this? Like, I get it, he was with, Selenius, but we are not them.
Yeah.
So, probably wouldn't have gone the way that he had hoped.
I totally agree, but it just makes me laugh that he's like, oh. And he's got his butler there now, who is Glarastes.
Yep.
Good old
super awkward.
Yep. Like, hey, man.
I want Kay. Hang on. Do you think he let Exeter bring his bug collection?
I hope so.
Is this how we get ants on a ship? Is this how we get ants on a ship?
This is how we get termites, because he's got all the wood veneer.
Oh,
right.
God.
All the paneling.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see for Red God. And I don't theorize ever, but I would love to see Lysander just be, like, fullied because his ship falls apart because he allowed the termites on the ship. And it's nothing to do with Darrow. It's nothing to do with that Atlantia. It's his own demise of being like, I just wanted to be really, like, nice, and I didn't think it through that there's, like, other actions to things that I do, and the whole ship falls apart. Even though I'm sure a lot of it... Well, you're aircraft mechanic. I'm sure a lot of it is metal, but somehow
but it would
space ants would be...
It would be kind of hilarious to... It'd be kind of hilarious to see his staterooms slowly fall apart to like mirror something else going on in the to like mirror his mental state.
Yeah, like that.
So like it's slowly getting to be more and more in disarray, and turns out it's just the termite. But it's like driving him nuts. While everything else is falling apart, his stateroom is actively just like leaving piles of like dust.
At some point, he just sits down at the desk, and the whole like the legs come out from underneath, and it just like drops and falls apart.
Just one, and it just kind of like tilts, catapults everything.
They're in the war room, and somebody sits down, and then it's a chain reaction.
Like a cartoon. Just everybody's
like Community.
Like Community. I was gonna say. I was gonna say, what show is it? And then it all falls apart. It's Community. Of course it is.
Of course it is.
So great. We jumped a lot there, jumping straight to the straight rooms, but it's talking about the ship is
whatever.
Great. But before that, we do get
Um,
him getting greeted, and his allies have shown up, especially the Bologna ships, and are like, "How the fuck are
yeah.
you alive?"
Yeah.
There's that, and then Cicero approaching and getting really emotional. Um, you know, which is not something you see necessarily amongst the more militant golds.
Yeah,
Usually would have been, a hearty handshake or a clap on the shoulder,
If
as
nod.
opposed to, tears and, you know, actual emotion.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, there's there was a good bit of that actually.
yeah,
Talking about the waste of losing Dido, Helios, and Diomedes, um, which obviously. Um, but yeah, crediting the Praetorians to keeping Lysander safe. Uh, yeah, just it's and then the change of command happens, and it just kind of snowballs from there into the staterooms, kind of.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I find it the
oh,
one thing that I thought
skip over
was
the
really the
talking to
where
Palace.
he oh yeah talking to Palace where he's like or she's arguing like the Bolognas are not here for this. Like this is a side quest basically. But my thing
Right.
before we get into that is where and I guess it's slightly after that where he strips down and we know that Atlas has given him the scars
His wounds.
and his wounds to lend credibility to the story, and that's what gets a lot of them on. And then he makes the impassioned
Hmm.
speech, which even then Palace is still like the only one who's not giving in to his like theatrics, and so has to like target them from a different angle.
Yeah, it's fun. It's actually kind of fun watching him shift gears between each group that he speaks with.
Hmm.
Um, you know, um,
It's the
Going
dancing
to
mask.
Cicero's heart. Yeah, exactly. Going from Cicero's heart to his Praetorians, martial prowess, and shifting from there into Pallas and directing them away from Mars and onward to the investment that is him, and from there into um, his wounds and showing off everything and just rolling from group to group to person,
Yeah,
and manipulating the shit out of everyone,
yeah.
um, rather masterfully.
He has
Uh,
become quite the politician of I will
mhm.
make you believe what I want you to believe.
Exactly. Um,
All while
'Cause, yeah,
also
it's
being manipulated very, very heavily
Very,
himself.
yeah,
yep.
like that he doesn't
And
actually have a
he
choice.
is, yeah,
Mhm.
not okay with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's trying to make it all look like it's his idea while having someone else's boot on the back of his head, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
just keeping him metaphorically on his knees.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's oh yeah, we and I forgot about the new shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
as he's talking to them as well, trying to be like, oh hey yeah, you guys are new families. We're gonna get you your own glory and stories. Um, Stick around and find out, sort of thing.
Yeah,
But that's God. It's as much as I hate the guy, he's really good at what he does. Um, ugh, ugh. The only nice thing I'll ever say about
yeah,
Lysander.
I know.
But
Well,
yeah, and then it shifts into the change of command, the passing of the command scepter,
yes.
which was kind of cool. And then talking to the crew.
Well, and I'm confused on what it is. So it's like I get it, it's a scepter, but it's so like what wire or metal that then connects to a lightning bolt.
Yeah. Um,
Like I'm trying to
Hold on. There's a
picture it in
description
my
at the beginning of the
head.
chapter. Um, he has it in his in a holster on his back. No, Cicero does. Um, Where'd it go? So, oh, it's a bundle of iron rods that lead to a lightning bolt. So like and because it's a scepter, I'm picturing something maybe, yay big around, but
Yeah.
like dowel rods sort of, but made
Oh.
of
Yeah.
iron, and then like with a lightning bolt kind of welded to the
On
top,
the
or
top.
maybe even the iron itself kind of turning into the lightning bolt,
Yeah.
like having been molded that way,
Yeah,
or
I could see
something.
that for sure.
Yeah, but apparently it's got like something he twists it to like activate it to get connection to the ship. So like it's not just a show piece; it actually has function
Yeah.
as well, which is neat. Similar, I guess, that the cestus that Helios was wearing.
Yeah.
Uh, just not a glove.
Yep.
Could double as a
Yeah.
weapon more than likely.
I was gonna say you could
Just a
take somebody
thumping
out with it.
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The beat
Uh,
stick.
But yeah, and then we move in. Now we're in the staterooms where we get him
Mm-hmm.
very emotional, very
Yep.
feeling how
Mm.
vulnerable he is, and we're seeing that. Like, so we'll go back to Exeter, where he's then very missing Glarastes and goes on about Glarastes, how he's lost Rome, so who can he trust? And then Pytha walks in. And like, can I just right off the top the fact that Pytha takes third behind Glarastes and Rowan, like, and he goes on of like how she's his sister basically, and he like is lamenting about that, but then is like
And lies through his teeth.
lies through his teeth, but also like
Yeah.
again, like she was with you and raised you pretty much for 10 years,
Mhm.
and yet she is behind Glarastes somehow. Like,
It's like we get it that he knew Glarastes as a child briefly,
yes.
um, as more of a fascination piece on Glarastes' end. He's this stern, intelligent child. Um, but yeah, and then Roan is his it's the praetor of his legions. Like why does he have such a,
A
especially
hold.
now, like
Well, like,
yeah, he's just got,
and even
it doesn't
then,
make any sense.
Pytha says something about
Why?
Diomedes and how he would have been a good friend or whatever, and um, Lysander laments like even more, as if like pretty much I think
More
like
than that.
almost getting then like like into brother mode, and then it's like you've met the
Yeah.
guy for 2 weeks. Like Pytha was
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
you
And
for
for most of
10
that, he
years.
didn't really like you.
He actually
No.
dropped you out of the bottom of a ship and hung you out for radiation to take you for a minute before he dragged you back in to teach you a lesson. Um, that was your intro to Diomedes,
Yeah. But
was
no.
dropping
He's
out a
on
trapdoor.
equal like footing with Pytha. That
Ugh.
yeah. I do think is this
And
the first
then
time we really get to sit down with Pytha? I think it kind of is. She's kind of always the
like a
third
one-on-one, I
or
think so.
yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, like you said, I'm pretty sure every other conversation that she's really been a part of has been a group setting.
Yeah.
But
Or at least they haven't fully been in private.
yeah,
Like they
there's
have
always
their
been someone
conversation
around.
before the rain in Dark Age.
Yeah. Because I like Pytha. Like
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
think because like she wants to console him. She acts as his therapist for a little bit of like we saw how Cassius like keeping the emotions in ate him up. So
Mhm.
let it out. Like tell me, and he really wants to, and then is like she's gonna look at me differently.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
Do
which
you
I
blame
Never
her?
look at me the
Like,
same way ever
yeah
again. I mean, yeah, no, like, come on, man. Like, you're not the same person that she raised,
yeah
at all. Especially with everything that, I mean, and he's been through a lot, but like, it's shown a lot of change to him.
yeah
So it's just, yeah, no, she wouldn't look at you
um,
the same, but that's not necessarily a bad thing at the same time, though.
right
Like,
I mean, depending.
I mean, depending, yeah, but I mean, there's the chance that she might take it as a, okay, what have I done wrong? Like, how can we fix this and course correct, or can we even?
Yeah.
As opposed to just like dropping him. I don't think she would just like, oh no, I can't be seen with you anymore or whatever.
Yeah, like,
I'm
oh,
not
you're a
family
lost
anymore.
cause.
Yeah, I think she would try to help him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give her the chance.
Yeah.
Because he is nothing if not a coward at the end of the day.
That is true.
Personally.
Yep.
We also get the his feelings about how he has been manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have strings in me that I don't know if I will ever be able to cut. Like,
Yeah.
that's a
Deep,
very
man.
yeah.
I mean, he is pretty in tune with
He is
like
the puppet.
yeah, he knows that he is. That's the shit thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like Pinocchio
Yeah,
wanting to be a real boy, but he's never gonna be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so much worse to know you're the
Mhm.
puppet.
Yeah. Yeah, because at least
But
if you think it's all your idea and you've been manipulated, it's worse, I think, overall long term, but you at least feel in control. But
yeah,
knowing you're
Yeah.
being manipulated and there's nothing you can do, like short term wise, that eats you up every day.
yep,
Of
absolutely
like,
it does.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, my dog is eating something off of my entry mat now because
He's
just looks like a piece of
hungry.
fur.
Did you not feed the
Rocks.
dog?
I absolutely did. He got food as soon as I get home, and he'll get food again in a couple hours.
Can't believe you're
Ravenous little
starving your
asshole.
dog.
I know, right? Spoiled little. Anyways, um, but yeah, no, he's in a mess, but only some of it is from other people.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it is his own making.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, he kind of feeds in little bits of truth with his talk to Pytha, and enough of it from both his recounting and then her sympathy, you know, causes him to kind of break down. He actually, you know, cries into her uniform, and he holds onto her, and she even knows it states that she even knows that he hasn't said everything,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but that she accepts it,
Yeah.
whispers that it'll be all right, um, and that's kind of, you know, our cutoff of where he's at right now. He's a mess,
Yeah.
um, but he has a lot that he has to do in his head, um, both to satisfy others and to try and make it kind of get himself out from underneath that boot.
Yeah. Try to break free.
hmm
Yeah.
He's got his own chains to break,
Also,
but
did we just learn that Lysander's a trickle truther?
What does a trickle truther mean?
He will only divulge specific pieces of the truth as it,
Oh. Yeah.
like, either as they come to light, and then he will admit it's happened, or as it benefits him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we've seen bits and pieces of that like the whole time that he's been interacting with anybody, really.
Yeah, true.
Do we think that feeds then
Whatever
into him
works
as
for
an
him.
unreliable narrator of what is he telling and not telling the audience? Like, is there things that he is,
I
in theory, blocking out from his mind?
I would say
I
at least
think
to a
he.
degree.
Oh, see, I was gonna disagree. I think
Mm.
he's too full of shit
I think there's a bit of
to,
both.
you know.
I think he's in a way kind of so full of his own shit that almost makes him unreliable. and then there's also so much other stuff that that's been twisted and torn out of him
Yeah.
from from his childhood. He knows that his parents have been killed, but he still doesn't have the full picture of everything.
Yep.
He's still working on partial you know partial info on everything, but he's trying to make do with everything that he does have. But I think he's as reliable of a narrator as he can be.
Yeah.
In a way.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, still not very. But yeah, he's a mess, like I've said.
Yeah, for sure.
Which we know.
All right.
But
any other thoughts on
I
Lysander?
I rarely have thoughts on Lysander.
Mm-hmm.
That's required.
I'm not gonna lie. I was driving home today listening to this. I was driving home today, and like, to be fair, it's where two major highways join together. Is where I was when it started, but it was like 2 minutes into the chapter before I realized, like, oh, we're on Lysander, and I have not been paying attention, and went back to the start of the chapter because I just like was hardcore thinking about it, and then just the moment Lysander started, I just was like, what? Oh, hold on. Back to the start of the chapter. Yeah.
That guy again. Oh.
That guy. I feel like the next... We're going to get a... Well, no, we don't really get a lot of Lysander for the rest of the book, if I remember properly. It's not really evenly balanced. Like, we don't have a chapter coming up that's entirely Lysander or anything, rather than we've been doing all these very heavy Darrow chunks. Darrow and Lyria.
Yeah, it's
he still has he has a little bit.
Yeah,
he still has a little bit towards the end, but yeah, no, nowhere near like.
It's very Darrow, Lyria, heavy, rather than let's say Dark Age, where it was almost, all
it was pretty evenly interspersed.
Yeah. On to bigger and better things with the Darrow Lyria combo and all of our favorite cast of characters that come along with them.
All of the fun people.
All the fun people. Not quite having a ton of fun. Not a lot of fun.
If you want to call Diomedes fun, he's kind of a stick in the mud. But
he is. But I also don't think as.
Oh man, Darrow and Diomedes just have this nice set spike moment. Ooh.
Yep.
But they get thrown in, and I think my favorite part is that it's like a slow reveal of who else is in there, and then you just get to know like the chin or whatever, like, and you're immediately like, it's fucking Cassius.
Hello. Like, I'm just imagining this.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. I'm in the middle of a rescue. It's going a bit sideways right now.
It's taking It's taking longer than expected.
Have either of you seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Oh yeah.
I am imagining Cassius as Edgin in prison. It's like knitting his mitts.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, it's you. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, and I like that they're going on about how they're the 3 best duelists in probably the solar system.
Yeah, that have been in the same room for 60 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And then you watch Diomedes and Darrow like eye each other, and he like Cassius is like, "Oh yeah, you guys have not seen each other."
Interesting.
Cassius just says, "Yeah, interesting." As we're cuffed together,
just like hands under his chin, that glorious chin. Yeah. Hey guys, how are ya?
How are we doing? Put it on display. Yeah, I like he he's not really trying to stir up shit, but he kind of is. Like, he's just the comic relief
pokes.
the whole time. Yeah.
That the banter in that chapter is legendary.
Well, and they're going off about
good.
the cheer goes up of like, I think you're dead. And then like the second cheer, and then the
Yeah.
third one, which is the loudest, and he's like,
Yeah, you
that
too.
one's for me.
You don't allow me to be the best
Are we all
at
gonna
anything
die?
anymore.
Apparently, you were both terrible. It's like, yep. Yeah, like the argument of how the conversations went. It's, are we all gonna die? Yes. Probably.
Probably. And he's like mad.
Yeah.
Darrow's mad about the pessimism.
talked forever.
Being such a pessimist.
You talked forever and looked weak.
You
You
just
basically told him to slag off and shoot you. Well, you see.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to
And
talk
that's when
for
he's like,
me.
oh yeah, that's like a bad joke. Like, we're the best 3 Razor Masters in 60 years, and we're in prison.
And none of us was taken in a fair fight.
Yep.
Oh.
Cassius, yes? Shut up.
Yeah, the set spike.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The fact that it's Darrow that gets his attention, and then Diomedes that tells him to shut up. Just so good.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So good.
They're getting on the same wavelength already.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, I love that Diomedes finally, like, they're in prison. They're scheduled to die as far as they know, and then he's like,
let me tell you some
so
shit.
Atlas.
I didn't trust you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole now you tell us? I didn't trust you. Eat me. Basically. So yeah, that was, and then of course he immediately is like banging on the door, like, hey, we have information.
Athena!
More cheering.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think they're a little busy.
So which one of us just got double condemned?
And then there's the little moment where Darrow, as always, pulls out the little key, packs his key, and Diomedes kind of perks up. It's like, it's not for the cell.
Immediate Cassius is like, the stupid key, not for the cell.
Oh man.
So great.
And then that's kind of when they lean into so how did you come to this conclusion that it was Atlas? And like running down that whole like scenario of like the carved limbs, the speech and mimicry, which shortly after is when they kind of start arguing about Lysander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Cassius is
whether or not he is trustworthy.
Yeah, and Cassius gets really
Darrow
defensive and hurt by things. Like, he is very emotionally involved in that.
I mean, they're working from very different viewpoints. Obviously, I mean, Lysander saved Diomedes' life on the Dustmaker, whereas the last time that Darrow and Lysander ran across each other was, well, with a broken razor through the chest. And then, Cassius' last interaction was as essentially his protege / little brother figure. Which was another nice little, another point for Diomedes when he was, it's like, if anything, this is a credit to you, Cassius, of how he's turned out in that moment at the very least.
Because they're going back of, well, Octavia had him first. Like, you could not reverse everything that Octavia did. And Cassius is kind of almost having a, but I had him longer. But, let's not, try and teach Cassius something about how children grow, but the first 10 years are definitely bigger and developmental than the next 10
Yeah.
years.
Especially when Grandma has a pandemonium chair.
Yeah. It can
Yeah,
literally
exactly.
fuck with your brain. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like way more impactful than a lazy boy.
yeah, just a little, just a little.
Yeah.
Much worse for your back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Really,
I
Maybe.
don't
really
know.
wreaks
It might
havoc
be like,
on the vertebra.
I don't know. It's
like,
funny.
actually,
In
it
my
might be better for your back.
Yeah, I'm
posture.
thinking like I am
Yeah.
thinking though at all times the pandemonium chair is very like electric chair that we see and
Oh,
like
absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
that like rigid you're like, but at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
for all we know, it's like a gamer's chair like Crescent's got behind him there where it's like cozy and comfy and it
Yeah,
just
it's
would
just like,
have
oh,
something
yeah,
that just
ow.
comes out. Yeah, and it just comes out and like who knows?
Just like kind of wraps around your head and
Yeah.
fiddles your brain a little bit. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
Perfectly.
very Wally.
Wally. Yes.
Wally.
Wally.
But
Yeah.
discussing and oh yeah, no,
Gotta
they're
be
also
careful with that. We
discussing.
get a copyright strike.
We're gonna get so many. We were discussing Disney last week. I was using a
I mean, I
Mickey
talked about
Mouse
Pinocchio
stroller.
earlier.
Yeah, we're fine. We're not showing the clips.
Nah.
It's fine.
But they do discuss the they theorize about Atlas's plans. Unsullied, Snow White is actually the term used.
Yeah.
Savior, to help them out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, yeah, and Atlas is Atlas, and none of it is like it all sounds very feasible. From the information that they're working with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It works really well.
And I mean, like, I know it's dramatic irony that we know what's going on and they don't.
I know.
And then they get it like
Yeah.
pretty right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
They're like,
because
oh,
between them,
okay.
they've got. I
Yeah.
mean, Diomedes alone
They're all-
is going to. He's a war general, so understands how these things. But it's also his uncle that he is. As much as it's the uncle that has been
that he doesn't know very
removed,
well.
is like off.
Yeah.
He clearly knows enough of that personality and why he's not invited to like family Thanksgiving, to kind of be able to get that personal side into it there. But yeah, they get it
Yeah.
very close.
But yeah.
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 And then
The last bit of that chapter is them talking, essentially because at this point, they think Lysander's dead.
Yeah.
Kind of, or at least that's Damien is like he's probably no longer around, or at the very least,
he figured that Atlas disposed of him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we get kind of a eulogy of sorts,
From Diomedes.
which helps Cassius in the moment, at the very least. Yeah, like the last bit is whatever animus I have for Lysander, I feel compassion for my friend, so I shut my mouth and hope Diomedes' words are true. Which we can all hope, but we all, again, as the readers, like we know what's going on, and it's not looking great. So yeah, it's not great around there.
Yeah.
Which takes us from the Three Masters to chapter 62.
The Tyrant's Debris.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is another really fun chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of Severo growth in this chapter.
Yes. Well, I
And
just love like Severo's entrance into this chapter, where it's Athena comes in first and is talking them through, and then is
theatrical.
like,
Yeah.
Well, we've talked to Ares, and they're like, Ares, and then he does the
Ares?
whole
The Twilight Helm.
yeah.
Oh,
Which I like that Darrow's like,
so
oh, so
good.
that's what it does. As it's like this epic like speech that's come through. Oh, so that's what it does. Like
Yeah.
Which, again, like
And
Cassius in the background. I thought I died. Oh, that's what that.
yeah.
Huh. Well then.
Yeah. But Severo's able to
But
pull
yeah.
off, we find out, one of his kind of epic speeches like he does in Morningstar, which
Yeah.
we know he's capable of. We saw it back in
Mhm.
Morningstar, these speeches of that, like, yes, they've done wrong, but so did Fitchner. So has Ares. What has Ares done? What have you done? And is able to, at least give them a little bit of time. Not a full
Yeah.
pardon, but some time.
Mhm.
Yeah. A
Um,
commuting of the sentence at least.
yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
get to at
that's
least win the war and then die.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
And I mean, honestly, Darrow's like, yeah, I'll take it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That gives me
that
the chance to make amends for the things that I have done. It lets me finish the things that I haven't. Um, and at the end of that road, I'll take what my due is, whatever you
yeah,
think
Yeah.
that is.
exactly. Like the bill comes at the end, as they say.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we learned that
Um,
Cassius, like, his whole life is basically now, like, thanks to Severo, that Severo was like, I've got him. And we get a
oh,
really nice, I really like that moment of,
chins with
like,
me.
the
Yeah.
chins with me, of, like, all the bickering and all of the back and forth. And at the end of the day, Severo's like, fuck it, fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what Dad would want.
yeah.
hmm And yeah, no, and talking about like Severo's speeches and whatnot. I mean, we see all these glimpses of him able to pull that leadership role and do it
Yeah.
really well. The problem is that he falls prey so often to his own insecurities, being compared, or not being compared, but comparing himself to Fitchner, to Darrow, to everyone else around him in any sort of a position of authority, and essentially just breaking himself down
Yeah.
into
Hmm.
that follower role. The Goblin,
Yeah.
but um, which then Darrow mentions in his lovely little point of view that that he's seeing a little bit of his friend Severo and the Goblin kind of actually finally becoming one person,
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
which
And
is, I mean, yeah,
like
and it's wonderful to
I
see.
think I think it parallels Darrow's growth too. Like we're
Mhm.
starting to see Darrow and the Reaper become one person.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a
Um,
question for you guys.
Yeah.
oh
Who's
boy.
doing more growing, Darrow or the Reaper?
Oh.
Oh.
I think Darrow. I think it's Darrow as a father. Because that's his drive. And because of that, the Reaper comes with it. But I think it is Darrow placing his hopes, his dreams on Pax. So that's him being a father, and this is what I want my son to see, is what then drives what the Reaper has to do in order to achieve things for Darrow the father, is my opinion.
And it's yeah, and that's it's not even just Darrow the father. It's Darrow the brother, the friend,
The
the
husband.
husband.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, and yeah, I would say Darrow is growing and dragging the Reaper along with him
Mm,
Yeah.
to match that growth. Um, because at the end of the day, I mean, he does still realize that he's gonna have to do some things,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
now he's solidified the why, um, which may temper some of the Reaper aspect a bit.
His darker urges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that he has a modicum of hope again,
Yeah.
um, even if it's only for a temporary time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Crescent, was that
But yeah.
going to be your answer, or were you going to go with Reaper?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think I'm on the opposite side. I think the Reaper's grown more. The Reaper has always been like Severo says it earlier in the series. The Reaper goes through you, or it's not Severo that says it. Somebody says the Reaper goes through you, but the Goblin stays for 10 courses. And yes, the Reaper is going to go through you, but now he's got more, I think, more restraint. Like, he's not just violent. He's not just wrathful. Yeah.
Where does that growth come from then?
I mean, yeah. I guess really it's hard to separate the two.
100%.
I mean,
but
yeah, I mean it's the persona versus the person.
Yeah.
So, because yeah, I mean his personal growth and the growth of his mythos are very, very different animals.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Darrow, for as long as we've known him, the only thing he's wanted is to be a father and a husband.
Yep.
The way I look at it is a lot of the things he does, Darrow's not doing them. The Reaper is doing them. Right? You know,
Fair.
like lying to his friends, you know, killing everybody that he comes across, basically. All these horrible things, Darrow has never wanted to do them. Being a father to Pax is always what he's wanted to do, but the Reaper's like, no.
First,
we're gonna finish this. We got to do the thing, and then you can be happy.
Yeah.
Every time I hear somebody say "do the thing," I'm rewatching the core.
Julie,
do the thing. So that's been said often in
We're
my
getting
house.
copyright strike by Disney, Nickelodeon, everybody.
Yeah, let's get them. But yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's they're I mean, because they are, you know, technically the same person. Their growth is parallel, but for different reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of similar drives, but different aspects.
Yep.
It's a lot, either way.
It is a lot either way.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that, so we know that Severo has taken, you know, is like, the chin is mine. Diomedes has Ari to thank for.
Yeah.
I continue to absolutely love the two of them. They might be my like favorite ship of the whole series.
They're your OTP?
I think so.
Damn, dog.
I think so.
I mean, it's a good one, but
I'm trying to think of who would top it. Like Darrow and Mustang, or that, like, I don't know, they're kind of boring.
Everyone kind of.
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, everyone
like,
expects that one.
There's total
exactly.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
they're the Stepford family almost, if it were, you know, in a space war.
Yeah,
they're the nuclear family. Darrow lost his whole fucking head of hair to nukes.
Literally the nuclear family. Now he's got a great beard, though.
Yeah, he has his beard. It is noted that he continues. I think it's in the next chapter. Lyria notes that he has, and Cassius still has his, but Severo has shaved. Do we know?
He's got a goatee.
He's got the goatee going on.
What's Diomedes?
Severo only has hair like this. Like,
he can only grow it in the middle of his head.
Oh God, no! I had never picked. I didn't even make that connection. Yeah, no, it's. I wonder if he's got a unibrow.
No, it'd be the opposite.
Since it all goes down the middle.
No, you're right.
No,
you're right. It would be a unibrow.
It's not a unibrow. It's a nose brow.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no.
Because you wouldn't have over the
God, yeah,
eyes.
it's that. It like grows down onto the bridge.
The
Oh.
eyelashes, you just yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh God,
Um,
that's a
I'm
sight.
sorry, everyone, for that image. For bringing that to your attention.
We
but yeah,
appreciate you, Crescent.
Severo
Thanks.
and Victra I like, but they're a little too toxic. Like they work for them, but it's
I
not
mean, yeah.
my cup, like the love that
I
I
should say,
would like.
I love them.
They're great,
Yeah.
but not my OTP.
Bond, your
Again,
M is showing.
I think
Well.
it's
Well, you see.
I think with them it's almost the same of they're like it's too obvious of like yeah, and I guess like Victor, when we look back and Victor's first introduced in Golden Sun, was not the obvious person to go with
No,
Severo.
absolutely not.
But yeah, for them it's like, oh, it works, cool. But the Ori Diomedes, I think it's that I am like truly love just the Romeo and Juliet,
Mm-hmm.
we have conquered so much together, and like the poeticism of just I'm just in love with Diomedes and I just want to be Ori. I'm talking this through and I've figured it out that
Yeah.
I
Hey,
just
look,
want.
we found it.
We just had a moment
Yeah.
there.
We got there.
Light bulb.
Light bulb.
But
I just love them so much.
yeah, no. But
Feel
speaking
you.
of them, it's the moment where she's like, "Look me in the eyes and tell me you're better than me, that
Yeah.
I should be serving you." Um, and he's like, "Bink," and he just starts laughing. It's the first real emoting
Emotion.
that we've gotten
Yeah.
out of Diomedes beyond that stern facade.
And
You know,
maybe that's what it
he is a
is.
good person.
Yeah,
That
and
she drags that out
she
of
brings
him.
it out of
Yeah.
him.
Um,
Oh.
yeah, that got mentioned at one point. It's somebody, I can't remember if they were asking him or her, but they're like, "So it's love?"
Yeah.
Um,
And
it's
I
like,
think
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
asking
Darrow
her.
asks her.
that's what it
Yeah.
was.
And then that's when she launches into talking about how once he said that love that obstructs duty is an addiction.
Oh yeah,
I think it is.
yep. That should be
Yeah.
suppressed or
Yeah.
discarded. Um, it's like, no,
But
man,
yeah.
come on,
But yeah, and like
Love's love.
and we
feel your
get on
feelings, my
about
guy.
like what her actual mission was that
Hmm.
if she thought that a tyrant was going to inherit.
Let no tyrant rule
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
or
she's like,
inherit.
I
Yeah.
didn't find one. And that's why you're still alive, is I didn't find a
But what if you
tyrant.
had?
Then you'd be
I would have
dead.
killed you.
Pop, pop.
Oh. Yeah. Oh no. Um.
Kate, can we just like admire how naive Diomedes is in that moment?
Yeah,
It's
as
like,
if
yes, she, like,
Oh.
we have this relationship. Oh, she would have killed me.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
no.
like I'd have been dead. Like dead.
yeah.
And because I mean, yeah, like she was trained like Darrow was trained, just in a different aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was
exactly.
there to infiltrate and make sure nothing happened, or at the very least to create a power vacuum if necessary.
Yeah.
To where then the daughters of Ares could step in and take over. So, or at least I think they were kind of like, and if we couldn't actually hold power, we could at least, you know, move it in the right direction.
Yes.
But that was another thing we didn't quite cover was that might have actually been an earlier chapter. Never mind, ignore me. The backstory essentially of Athena,
Yeah, that
and
was
kind of how
last.
she, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. I'd read a little bit further back just to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
refresh myself before I dove into these.
Yeah, those the last
Um,
ones.
But yeah, that was another really good one. But
Yeah.
yeah, then we've got a bunch of great stuff. Oh, then we go into Darrow's plans for the upcoming problem,
Yep.
so to speak.
Yes.
Swaying the Obsidians, um, trying to get everybody back on his side by challenging Fa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Darrow's
he's
like,
already
yeah,
challenged him. I'll just kill him.
the Reaper's gonna go fight God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as one does.
Obviously.
That is a very Reaper thing to do.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna call his honor into question and make sure everybody hears about it, so he can't back down.
That's my favorite is he says something about like, don't worry, I've already like challenged whatever. And Diomedes just nods along like, yeah, 100%. But the line is something about how quickly clap goes
Yeah.
through.
Yeah,
And everyone else is disgusted and Diomedes is like, yeah,
No,
that's
about right.
that checks out.
Talks about how
Rumors.
talk of Ashvar basically goes through
Yep.
Obsidian ranks quicker than the clap, and it's like, oh my god, Darrow.
Everyone else, but Diomedes
and
is sitting there
including
going,
Cassius. Including Cassius.
including us.
And Diomedes, yep. He's
Cassius
got it.
back there clutching
Nailed
his
it.
pearls.
Yeah.
Not the time.
You
He
just
doesn't have
said
the time.
what? Yeah, no. Oh my goodness.
How we
Why?
cured that?
Cassius probably has had the clap once or twice. Let's be serious.
I mean, honestly.
No. Cassius has had a standing ovation once or twice.
Well.
Okay, everybody, this is the last episode of Fade to Obsidian. I've killed Skipper.
For those listening, I just completely choked on my water. Wow.
Plan all along. Hello, I'm your new co-host for Fade to Obsidian.
Yep.
New year, new co-host.
I would never.
New year, new you.
No,
Now I've got a beard.
That's
Oh my
new.
God.
New how I name Skipper with a beard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change it in the den right now and see. Or you should change it instead of being Bond. You can be Skipper with a beard.
Oh, hello for a little
How
while.
many people will confuse us and try and tag in? It's gonna be great.
Several, because
this-
I'll have to put my name in the back of it to not be an asshole.
Well, somebody that I know and love very much said chaos comes in small, controlled bursts.
You're not wrong. We'll pass this later.
Yeah. Okay, now that I'm not choking anymore. Yeah, so we've got his plan.
Yeah.
Any other notes on this one? And then we move on to Lyria.
I listened to this chapter twice today.
Mm.
And I teared up both times when Severo did his speech. It's a
moving.
good one. It's a really
very
good speech.
moving.
Damn it, Pierce.
Right?
Damn it.
Why you gotta be like a good writer and stuff?
Yeah.
Making me
come on.
feel my feelings.
Hate it.
That whole like, no one makes
Let
me
me be
bleed my own blood. Only you're making me feel my
Let
own
me be
feelings.
stoic in peace.
Yeah. Single tear.
Single.
There were multiple.
There were multiple.
Oh, there was Darrow getting Pyrphoros, which is
Oh yes.
such a cool looking weapon in my head.
Yeah, like this inky tendril of sword.
Like it's got like the
Oh yeah.
it's got like that like oil in my head. It's got like the oil slick coat
I have
to
a
it.
question.
Yep.
Can every weapon in this universe be made into the sling blade? Like everyone
Razors can canonically be formed into any shape.
So
Yeah,
Asta,
but then-
Hasta's razors
so a Hasta-
and Katari's can all be they're all the same tech.
I don't
I
think
would assume.
Kataris are.
Really? I I need to
Okay,
know
but a
that now.
Hosta can't.
Because
I
a
like
Katari
the moment
is
it
like
happened, I
it's
was like,
almost like a
convenient.
parrying dagger.
Okay, that would make some sense. But then again,
Yeah,
maybe you want to,
or like
maybe
a
you want
sword
to,
breaker.
yeah. Well, maybe you want to change the shape of that a little bit. Who knows? I need
Maybe,
to ask.
but
We've just never gotten an example of it happening.
yeah, true. I would say it's probably
Um,
the same material. It's probably
Possibly,
polyene
yeah.
fiber.
Yeah,
Because if you're going to
I
be
mean, it's made to be.
fighting razors with not polyene fiber,
And it
probably going
doesn't
to have a
work.
bad time. It's going to work really
Yeah. So
well 0 times.
Yeah,
correct.
because I just read this and I was like, wait, can everything be a sling blade? Like, this is too convenient
Yeah.
that we suddenly get the
We
sling
know
blade.
hostas and razors can at the very least.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
in Morningstar, when Darrow gives Sephi the razor,
mhm.
he shows her how to form the
Toggle it.
razor into
Yeah, I knew on the
a shape.
razor. I knew for sure on the
Yeah.
razor. But it was
But
just
yeah,
the Hosta
hostas
today.
are
I
just
was
long
like,
razors.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why in
Oh,
my
yeah.
head it was like double ended. I don't know. I don't know what was happening in my head.
It's just a lance.
I mean,
Okay.
oh, and then the other side to Ori and Diomedes is part of the conversation is having Diomedes agree to try and institute a new
Mm-hmm.
way of
Mm-hmm.
life on the rim.
Yeah,
Um,
abolish
whether it
the
takes
hierarchy.
exactly whether it takes generations or not, that his active goal now on his oath is to remove the hierarchy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was awesome. So yeah,
Ori
he is
says
now
you're
their
Cassidy Gaius.
Virginia. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you are there. He's their Virginia.
Well, I
Their
like that. And they
visionary.
said, we don't want a kept
Hmm.
gold.
Yep.
We
We want a
want.
visionary.
Yeah. I really like that. Of like, no, you get to be your own self, but
Yeah.
because you have to believe in the cause. And I think we know because, like, he's slowly coming around to it, but he's got the roots there of he's been in love with this pink and truly in love, not just the way pinks make
Yeah.
people in love.
This is not him. This is not
Mm,
him lusting. This is him actually in love with a
Yeah.
person.
yeah.
That the grounds are there in the same way of when Mustang realized she was in love with a red. Like, it's
Yep.
the basis is
Yep.
there. He just needs to take the steps. Yeah.
Yeah. The last two sentences of that chapter are also really good. That's another thing. Pierce is really good at ending his chapters. It's the from Athena. We don't hold the sins of our ancestors against their descendants. Ra, give me your oath, and I'll put the blade in your hand myself. It's like,
Yep.
so good,
Yeah.
so good. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the end of
That's it.
the tyrant's debris.
Hmm.
Well,
And now we
Now,
go
before we
into oh yeah,
yeah.
go do what
now
you
we
got.
have merch break
Oh,
Oh.
because
Okay, we'll do
as Virginia Augustus says,
Oh.
I am wearing the Howler's
ooh,
Den Lionheart shirt,
Look at
crooked
nice,
edition.
Crooked
nice.
edition.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's off
It's
kilter.
It's a
slightly.
It
little
was
slanty.
misprinted. Yeah,
I like it.
Nice,
but
Nice.
nice.
I did get a new one that is not crooked. It's just dirty.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually need to find a replacement for this hat. If you can tell, it's stitched a little off center.
Um.
Oh yeah.
Howler.
Well, it's
Mm-hmm.
fine. Yeah, you guys have the
Oh
matching
yeah.
hats today.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you
Yep.
Yeah,
go.
I
I
don't.
actually I thought about wearing my toque
Mm,
with the Howler logo on it.
nice.
Anybody who doesn't know, toque is Canadian for beanie
I have one
or
kicking around
That.
somewhere.
knitted cap.
Yep.
Knitted cap.
All right.
Okay, well, no, I'm not even going to bring up the debate. No, I am going to bring it up because now I've
Might as
said I'm
well.
not going to bring it up.
Yeah, you just did.
It was a whole fight in the den, and we as
I was there
Canadians
for that.
know that the rest of the world calls it a beanie. We
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge that we call it a toque. Okay, there's a great New Zealander who's just moved to Canada and is trying to point out like things weird, like Canadians do weird, and he does not pronounce it toque. He's like, why are you the only ones in the world who call it a touquet? And he has gone viral just because every Canadian has been like, the fuck
No.
is a touquet? But there was a whole fight in the den of some of one at least of the southern howlers, I won't name names, thought that a beanie or a toque was called a toboggan.
That is a sled.
That is a sled.
Yes. It is a
But,
sled.
but also, I grew up in Tennessee, and I have heard it called a toboggan, but it was not like that wasn't the overarching use. It
Okay.
was usually just a sled, or in reference to the hat, a beanie.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Toboggan, that's a sled.
That's a sled! It is a very specific type of sled. But yeah. Though I would say I would go tobogganing even if I'm going to use a crazy carpet. But just saying.
Yeah.
Crescent probably never goes tobogganing. There's no hills around Crescent.
Hey, there's like one.
He's got one.
There's like a hill.
Since we're going to get...
there's actually like there's a
copyrighted-
decent tobogganing hill right off of our main street through town.
Yeah. Since we're gonna get copyright from everybody, I'm just gonna sing the Fred Penner song. Fred Penner is a Canadian children's artist who sings, "I'm a bump, bump, but I'm bump in the middle of the prairies. The land around is flat, flat, flat. I'm a bump that no one sees. I'm a bump that no one sees." So there you go, just for you. Anyway, back to merch.
Hold on.
I am also wearing HowlerHollow.net clothes with the Low Draft Gala, chosen because it feels like in the next one with the mashed taters, they're kind of having their own Low Draft Gala of picking away at their like cafeteria food. Yeah.
And then there's Darrow, high draft, sneaking in.
Yeah, that's right, because Severo would have been low draft.
Yeah, Severo was for sure a low draft.
Lyria,
the lowest
not even
low draft.
drafted. Cassius, not invited to the party because he's a high draft, and Darrow sneaks into the low draft party.
Yeah, Darrow sneaks in on a technicality.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm technically wearing Den merch, but yeah, got my Gym Rat War shirt going on.
Nice!
Yes.
Taking out the Minotaur. But had to be there to get it.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, you did.
True.
All right, shall we jump into Lyria?
Yes, let's go. Let's do it. Mashed taters.
Enigma's favorite chapter name.
Mashed taters.
Which is so funny, is like listening to it today, it's first points out, like, and I'd forgot, like, it first points out that he stabs the potato, and I was like, that's not a mashed tater. And then he goes and breaks it up, and I was like, oh, I get, okay. I stand corrected. It is a mashed tater. Yeah, he's playing with his food. But yeah, Lyria, okay, before we even get to that, she is so sneaky. Not sneaky, she's just using her wisdom and, like, pretends to be Rona. Like, we have had all of these parallels between the two Reds, which, I will say last week as well, Bond, you won't know this, that we had to talk about how we want to have an episode of all the Red women, and we forgot Harmony. And Rona.
I saw the chat.
Yeah, and Rona is the one today that I was like, we forgot Rona!
Hashtag Rona Woods.
Hashtag, yeah.
For real.
Still be there. But we've had the discussion about the stowing away, the Darrow being protective, all of these things. And this is the episode or chapter where we get the straight Lyria is even the one who's like, do you not recognize me? I'm the Reaper's niece.
Like, I'm Rona.
Yeah.
Like, and Barca's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
If I don't get in there. Like, I didn't know about a pass pass card. Like, what? He's gonna skin me alive.
Briefed us well?
Barca's gonna skin me alive. Don't you recognize me?
Well, and then goes on about how, listen to my vowels, I'm clearly a Martian, how short she is.
How short I am.
I forgot about how, like, in the Rim, they would be slightly taller, because they're not living, even, like, the high Reds on Mars versus the low Reds are, like, stuck in a mine.
Yeah, like, Mars has a third of the gravity of Earth, but then the Rim basically has a third of Mars gravity.
everybody's a little stretched.
Ah.
Except for
Half.
Holiday.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
She's
it would have.
stocky.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, okay, never mind. Never mind. I was thinking Jupiter rather than being on the moons, and I was like, Jupiter's gonna have a shit ton of gravity, but they're not on
Yeah,
Jupiter.
almost so much that you just...
Yeah.
Weesh.
That didn't happen in the Magic School Bus. Uh,
Yeah, it's
They
like a
didn't.
magic school bus.
they also
Yeah,
didn't
that
go onto
protects them from
Jupiter. They
gravity.
stole the gas.
Fair.
Wonder if it smells like farts.
Probably.
It's got to, isn't it
Probably.
sulfur?
Probably methane.
A lot of it.
Methane.
Yeah. Sulfur, methane, etc.
Yeah.
Gas. Um. Yeah, and so she manages to talk her way into the war room, and you have, Darrow in the middle of the room, arguing with Athena and Diomedes, and then she just gets snatched up and pinned to a wall by Severo.
What did you see?
What are you doing? You shaved your head.
Your beard's gone.
Or sorry,
Beard.
you shaved your beard. Yeah.
Part of the head. It's fine.
Yeah.
Technically not wrong.
Yeah.
As previously discussed. Specific part of it.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't come all this way to be left in the cold. I need to talk to Darrow. What did you see? Need to talk to Darrow. What did you see? Need to talk to Darrow.
Well, he's like, nothing. I don't
love that
believe
he's
you.
like,
Just like
OPSEC means shit to you? It's just,
What's
what's
OPSEC?
OPSEC?
What did you see? Nothing. Just a few displays.
Yeah.
I need to talk to Darrow. He gave me his word. And that's when suddenly we're in the cafeteria.
Yeah. And I like that the two of them, like, on either side. Like, she's sitting, I think, sleeping at the table, and then, like, Darrow's, the weight is what wakes her up. And then
Yeah, the bench creaking.
and then Severo slides in on the other side, which this is a little bit later on that she tries to move away from Severo. She shuffles towards Darrow. I'm like, dear God.
Help!
I mean, you blame her.
No. But yeah, no, I mean, it's, this is another one of those spots where we get kind of an outside perspective on Darrow and the difference between the projection of the Reaper and Darrow alone.
Yeah.
They describe his posture, his like the tremor of a hand, like all of it is just like he's just in himself, eating his food.
Playing with his food. He's not even really eating.
Yeah, he's just kind of like pushing it around the plate.
Yeah, you would definitely call him withdrawn.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Severo pops in and starts eating, just like chowing, shoveling
Classic
food into his
Severo.
face. Yeah,
Nothing can dampen his appetite.
He's like, look, we've got 5 minutes. I'm gonna eat when I can, and can relate. That's how it goes. So yeah, got a heart out in 5 minutes.
Yep.
You made a promise. That's why you have minutes.
Yep. So she wants to go after Volga and does it in a very so she plays every card in her hand. Goes after the like, did your speech mean nothing? Like, is that like, do you not remember being a red? Like, and then goes into the like, I pine for Mars. I pine for the like mines.
She'll pine for the mines.
Yeah, like goes into all of that. And then like playing every card and then goes into the like, hey, but I can talk to Volga. Like, I have a better insight here. Like she has done this speech.
And she pulls the short card.
100 times. Pulls the short card.
I'll just slip in there. Nobody notices me. I'm little. All right, yeah.
Yeah, she had a list. She clearly had a list. It was like, I will hit every point on this list.
Just checking them off. one after another. And it works. Like you get like reactions as she's saying each of these things. You know, she when she mentions she's talking about like how she was in the camps and until you destroyed those. And then, Severo's like, ugh. Stuff like that.
Well, I think
And then
Severo that she really wins over, and then he almost basically has the plea of like, because then he's the one who follows up with like, listen, either she does the job well and we get behind, or she's dead and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she can't affect the thing.
The thing. In
The
cap,
thing.
like capitalized thing.
Yeah, the thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't know about the thing, so she can't talk about the thing. So if she gets tortured, she knows nothing. Let her try.
Yeah.
She knows no thing.
Yeah, no thing.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole you don't even speak Nagal, and then she like
just speaks
spits out a sentence at him.
And Severo's just like,
Severo's like,
I know, and Darrow's like, well, this is the part. I've been listening to her practice every night, and this is when she moves away. I'm like, fucking creeper, like, fucking.
And right after that, you've been tall so long, you forgot what it looks like down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she is nothing if not tenacious.
Mm-hmm.
She's tired of getting stepped on. She wants to help.
Yeah.
And this is how she can help, and she knows it. Whether anybody else will acknowledge it, she makes them acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And it's just honestly, it's really great to watch that the evolution of that conversation, of going from just another red to I have a connection. Okay, now Darrow's paying attention. Well, she doesn't know anything. Well, she can get in there. No one's gonna notice her.
Yeah.
And all of these things, and it's just like, okay, well, and they kind of like bounce back and forth a bit. She stole our kids, shot Cavix. I liked Cavix.
I really like Sarah's. I liked Cavix. Yes, we'll use Victra against him.
Yep. It's like, well, did this, balanced it with this.
Yeah.
Did this, balanced it with this.
Well, and
you
goes
did
on
this,
about,
and so she's here.
Yeah, and like she is the Republic of this is how she's come up. This is what's happened to her and what like why, and now she feels that she has been forced into this, right? Like really works that element of are these not the people you're trying to save as the ones who had to do whatever they could to survive?
Yep.
She hits all the points.
The only thing that I don't think she touches on.
Yeah.
Your son sent her to go after Foss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Pax himself sent her.
Yeah, why wouldn't you play that one up?
Right. Like that's the first one.
Guess who he's all in his feelings about. Yeah.
Like, I might have, stolen your kids, but we've made amends. At least one of them sent me out, not necessarily to find him, but trusted me enough to go and do, this thing. Even if it was, going to find out what was in her head at the time.
Yeah.
But, that still shows trust from the person that she supposedly kidnapped. So, I mean, that
supposed to trust Pax's intuition now.
I mean, maybe she didn't get to it. Maybe that was still on her checklist, like that as like a last ditch. We didn't quite hit that one. Like didn't need that one. We'll save that one for later.
That's the red god. She's gonna throw that in.
It's like, look, man, your son trusted me.
You should
too.
If she survives to red god, maybe she dies.
Better.
Who knows?
Be better.
Find out next week on Fade to Obsidian.
But yeah, so then she gets the go ahead, I'm like, fine, you can do the thing.
Yeah.
She
Off you
can't do
pop.
the thing. She doesn't
No,
get to know
in fact,
about the
it's the
thing.
Yeah, she
fact that
doesn't
she
know about the
doesn't know the
thing.
thing. Yeah, that's why
That
she gets
like,
to go.
yeah, fine.
Ultimately, that's why she gets to go. It's because she doesn't know
Yeah,
the thing.
Yeah, she can do the other thing.
the
Yeah,
other
she can
thing,
do her own thing.
but
Yeah.
not the thing.
Yeah, no,
Um,
sorry, can't do the thing.
which this is where we get Lysander interlude, and then we get back to her getting in the elevator, and the Greys will not let her pass. Absolutely not. Can I? We need to. Okay, so they took a submarine to get down the first time, and now we've learned there's just like a convenient elevator.
Yeah, but they had been shut down.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Right.
they had been completely closed off to prevent issue. So they had to take the subs in.
Yeah. To prevent
Um,
Obsidian ingress.
yeah. Which yeah, then we're trying to go topside. We've got this gray that's like, where do you think you're going, short stuff? Like no, get back down there.
Yeah.
She's like, wait a second, and then the chin.
The chin comes up.
And she's like, I had this. I've got a pass and
Yeah, I
everything this
bought a
time.
card.
Yeah. She
I
finally
actually
has the
have the
card.
card.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it probably wouldn't have worked. They wouldn't have believed you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've got Cassius and Sigurd coming up. Cassius's escort, and then Sigurd to take her into the Obsidians.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we know Cassius does not really like the plan.
Nope.
Which, okay, we need to talk about, go back to the other one, because at this point,
Oh boy.
Severo makes a comment about one of the other reasons he wants to let Lyria go is Cassius is going to hate this more than he hates the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And honestly, you're not wrong.
Yeah. So then he
Um,
shows up to, like, send her off
yeah.
and is, and then, like, they're holding hands because, like, Cassius is the one who seems worried that she's the one
Oh
who
yeah.
reaches
I
out to
mean,
be like, it's okay, bud. We're gonna be
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
he's gone from clutching his pearls to clutching his girl.
Yeah. Like
Oh.
this is his tiny bestie in my head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like this is
Capital lowercase b bestie.
yeah. Um but like yeah, he's seen the development of this person. She's also, they've formed this bond,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Ha
Ha.
Yeah.
over whiskey.
Yeah. Yup. In fact. And they just yeah, he's worried about her. And he
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
every right to be. Um as we see shortly into this chapter, as they get to the surface, she sees something in the crowd, and then she's like, "Oh, it's fine." And then she sees this shape standing in the middle of everything that suddenly starts dismembering people,
Yep.
efficiently enough that it takes several moments for anyone to notice or start screaming.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then it becomes a stampede and pushing in, trying to get to their shuttle. Um, as chaos descends.
And
Um,
we learn what it is. Cassius asks, and it's a harbinger.
a harbinger. Yep.
Harbinger. And that can
Somebody in.
swim.
Yep.
They've come through
So.
the sonar.
A shark head helmet.
Yep. With like fans on their heels and like
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
fins
So
and
do we think like uh like fans or fans?
I'm picturing like cylinders on either
Yeah,
side
me
of their
too.
Yeah,
heel
like almost
with
like
Tears
like
of
engine
like
ones.
Tears of the
yeah
Kingdom,
yeah
like
exactly absolutely.
fans.
Um but it was kind of because also like I'm assuming they have some variety of grav boot as well because they were hovering in the midst of the
Yeah.
crowd. Or at least that's how it seemed in my head.
Yeah,
Because they also had like like some sort of like fins or something for the
Yeah.
swimming. So I'm
But other than
assuming this
that,
is
they're naked, aren't they? There is no other clothing.
Yeah.
They're just chilling.
something like that. Um, hold on. Let me find that
Like, there's no
because that would
I'm
Speedo
on it
here.
here.
yeah.
A few dozen paces off, a giant shimmering figure stands amidst the refugees, as if he'd always been there.
Okay.
His ghostly guise dissolves to reveal a towering warrior. He is lean and nearly 8 feet tall, and naked except for a shark head helmet. Water drips from leathery orangish skin, so he's definitely Askamani.
Yep.
His feet are clad in curious boots with twin fans on either heel.
Okay.
Um,
And he's got 2 blades. Okay, so yeah, no fins. That was just a misremembering on my part. So yeah, he's got a helmet and boots and blades.
Yep.
and a club.
What else do you
Oh,
need
yeah.
in life?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like then he starts to kill. He does it with 2 blades, each as long as my legs. Not saying a whole lot. She's kind of short and he's 8
I
foot
was
tall.
gonna
So
say, like,
so what are these, like 2 foot blades?
like Lyria, how many short jokes have we had this episode about you?
Yep.
Yeah, they're just little guys. They're just big knives.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a really kind of an abrupt chapter. Because we do go from that kind of heartwarming, moment in the elevator to chaos, like 0 to 60 real fast.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. Fucking now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
'Cause-
even on ebook, it's a 5-page chapter.
Mhm.
I think what's the
God.
the audiobook is like maybe 8 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
9 minutes and 4 seconds.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so he's like, more coming? Likely they're already here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Terrifying.
Oh yeah, and like what a way to lead into something. It's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go and take Lyria. This area's fine for the moment. No, it's never that easy.
No,
We
no.
all knew it's not gonna be that
Nothing's
easy.
ever easy.
No,
No.
especially
easy,
not
anyone
in
can
this
do it.
series. Like nobody can. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pierce Brown is why we can't have nice things. Um, sorry,
But it's also the reason we have nice things.
yeah, it's a very double-edged sword here, much like what I assume was carving through all these limbs with this hard.
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah,
And-
no, so
That's it.
yeah, that's
The thing that I notice is when Cassius comes up to Lyria at the elevator, the Gray calls him Dominus.
Yes.
they are still in the rim.
Yeah.
It's a rim gray.
Like, yeah.
He doesn't correct, and
I'm surprised. I'm a little bit surprised that Cassius doesn't correct him.
correct. The other thing is
not.
Lyria then leans back into the stereotype of calling the Grey a tin pot. Which gets us
she's
way
always
back.
kind of done a bit of that.
For sure,
true.
but it, like, I don't know, throws
It's a
me
big
way back
callback,
to
you're right.
like the Red Rising tin pots of, we don't,
Yeah.
the Reds not liking the Grays. Of like, yeah, it's
Fair.
stupid. But I mean, he
Yeah.
calls her a ruster in reply.
Ugly
so-
Dan.
Yeah.
Ugly Dan, yeah.
But yeah, I was not that surprised actually that Cassius didn't correct him. In my head, it's a tool.
Yeah.
Like they have somewhere to be, and also he knows like that this is the rim. They're still following the hierarchy. So if he's if he has to step into that role just a little bit longer, while it may not suit him personally anymore, in the moment, it helps accomplish the goal. And
Yeah.
that goal is getting his tiny friend where she needs to be.
That sounds
So,
wrong.
oh yeah, a little. I'm okay with this. Welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very abrupt end to this little section.
Yep.
Thank you,
Because
Patreon.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Thanks,
would have
Patreon.
been This would have been the
Bond, which one did
beginning
you
of a
vote for?
section.
I I
We
was
can look
one of
back.
the even, like the even chunks.
You wanted the 5
I needed
chunks.
I
Like
needed
This isn't
five
you.
chapter.
no, like longer. I needed the
Oh.
longer ones. Sort of even. I needed like like good sections because I
Oh,
knew that there were chunks
Yeah,
that
you
were bad
wanted
like
like
this.
not even chunks, but the like divided plot point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
chunks.
perfectly
There we go.
divided.
Yeah,
That took
I needed
me.
that one.
A likely story. A likely
No.
story.
We're gonna look
I don't
back
like.
and
Yeah, feel free. I don't like
Mhm.
little bitty
I know.
pieces. It bugged
because this
like
would have started the next. Like it would have
mhm.
been this chunk into the next.
Yeah.
Because we will obviously.
Yeah, I want to say this section would have ended in what 2 chapters otherwise.
Well, some of them were slightly like we would have had to throw Lysander in. Like it would probably
Yeah.
have been.
Like, here, have these sections and some Lysander.
It probably would have been
Sprinkle a
the
little on the top for discomfort.
It's like the
trial.
next 4 chapters or 5 chapters are all still Lyria.
Yeah, so it would have
Maybe.
probably been the trial into the prison into the 2 chunks of Lyria. Just
Yeah.
or sorry, though maybe in the canteen. I need to look back. And then just because the
Maybe.
Lysander chapter comes after that, so Lysander would have been the last one.
True.
And then start this into the like the next 5 or whatever chunks of Lyria.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I remember being like, there are some
Didn't.
spots in here.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we're gonna give Patreon the power next time to vote.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, we're
You
taking that
lost
away
that
from
privilege.
you guys. We should have just gone in and edited the votes.
Just make a bunch
We
of
can-
extra like
As
Smurf accounts.
Pegasus
No,
as
we can
Pegasus
just-
Legion,
we
we
can
can
just delete
remove
them.
we can remove
Oh,
people's
that's-
votes. Anytime you and I've done it accidentally once, and then I had to like apologize to somebody because I was looking at it and I deleted their reaction to something, and I had to be like, just so you know, I didn't like your reaction wasn't
wasn't intentional,
inappropriate. Like you can react again.
I think I remember that.
I was like, I'm so sorry. You can react to that again. That was because every once in a while somebody will react like inappropriately, not understanding that something's not a joke, and we'll put like,
Yeah.
and I will go in and be like, no, that
You
was
can
actually
policing
serious.
that a little
Like,
bit is
we're
fine.
gonna remove that reaction.
We're having a moment right now. That's not part of that moment. Sorry.
But I've definitely gone in and accidentally done it, and then been like, just kidding. You can react again. My bad.
Everything's fine.
Didn't mean to do that one. So the votes, we in theory could delete.
We didn't
We
because
did not.
we're not monsters.
That's how we got into this
And obviously we're not
situation.
exactly pleased with the outcome. Because we're sitting here right now at an abrupt cliffhanger.
Ta-da!
I will say
Oh.
that I don't think it's next week, but the week after, I did get fed up and I added an extra chapter because it's the end of the part, and I was like, "We are not."
You gotta. This is
You
not the
can't
first
just-
time we've done it either.
You
Yeah,
can't just leave
but I was
a
like,
singular
book.
chapter in a part. No.
No.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
That
That's
would
not
be
how
a-
this works.
That would be insane, and
That's a
anybody who's
travesty.
read the book knows what's happening and knows why it can't happen.
But yeah, that's it for this portion.
that
We
is.
come back next week with Summit, so that we can discuss what happens. Do they make it out, or is this? I mean, we just said that Lyria has like 4 more parts, so clearly Lyria makes it out.
It's not 4 more. We literally are talking Lyria for the entirety of next episode.
Love it.
But the question still stands.
It's gonna be good.
Do they make it out?
Do they make it out? Maybe it's the end of
True.
that. Maybe
Yeah,
She
that's
might
the thing.
live. That doesn't necessarily mean she
Cassius
goes anywhere.
might die in
True.
the first sentence of
It's
the
true.
next chapter. We don't know what's happening.
Be a
That one
really
ray.
boring 5 chapters.
That one
Cassius
ray.
is
It's
dead.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lyria POV. She's dead.
It's a lot of black. It's her ghost. Pierce has
Yeah.
started writing
my God.
ghosts.
oh
Can
no.
we?
He's got a
Oh, no.
ghostwriter?
This is
Yeah,
from the Veil.
it's Eo.
I'm not going to start that rumor.
Eo. We've already
Oh,
started
God.
that rumor. Eo the dog
yeah.
is his ghostwriter.
Mm. True.
Yeah, for all we know, Red God's gonna show up and Ephraim will be back as a ghost. Just like given his, can you imagine Ephraim
He'll be the
right
Obi-Wan
now,
Kenobi.
from the Veil, sitting there, drinking his cocktail, being like, the fuck is happening? Volga, what the fuck? Like, I would love Ephraim's point of view of like
For what's
Oh,
happening.
the Ephraim cut.
the Ephraim.
I don't know.
Just a
There's always
monologue
the
overwatching everything.
the crackpot theory of like, well, maybe somebody just found his corpse and put a new heart in it.
Oh no.
Frankenstein Ephraim back.
Oh no. I don't want that.
Oh fucked.
Um
Yup.
Oh,
While
God.
we're just something we did not touch on, but is mentioned in one line here, is that Darrow hoped to finish the book or letter or whatever he's writing for Pax.
Yep.
What do we think that looks like? And I don't
I think it's
theorize, but
I'm pretty
is it
sure
Red
it's like a
Rising?
black book with like a
With
red wing
red
on the
wing
front.
on it. Oh yeah, weird. Couldn't be that.
I don't know.
Is
I don't know.
it?
No.
Yeah. It doesn't say that,
I
right?
do think
I think I
Right.
see it sitting in your background there, Skipper.
That one?
weird.
That
I
one?
honestly, I think there might be 3 of those.
And then another?
There's some more there
storytelling.
too. Yeah.
Huh. Wild.
Is
Huh.
that where we're going with
I
this?
guess we'll never know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I've definitely seen it talked about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That could be
that's
awesome.
a pretty prevalent
Yeah.
talking point.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
we don't theorize here. So
We don't theorize here.
No, it's illegal.
Thank you, Bond, so much
course.
for joining us. It has been a pleasure.
A delight as always.
Yes. Please feel free to let us know between the Lightbringer, Red God. I feel like we need a name for between Lightbringer and Red God. What
The between times.
the between
the interlude.
The interlude.
The Great Drought. Actually, no. Between Dark Age and Lightbringer, I think was the Great Drought.
That was the Great Drought.
Because we were in the desert, we didn't have any sustenance.
Yeah.
But let us know
But,
what
Oh,
parts of the book you want. You don't have to rate now. This
Which-
is
Oh
not
which
yeah, no, I know.
relationship-
That's something I'm gonna be thinking on.
yeah,
Some more because I've already kind of started.
yeah, because
but
it's
yeah, 'cause
coming.
You'll
March
see me
is
again.
coming.
This face,
So
this mug will be on here again.
yeah, and multiple times.
You better
Yeah.
get your face on a mug.
It's the next March.
Red bubble.
To that note,
On
we did
face
not
mug.
say we
It's for
are.
bonding time.
It was in last episode. There is an Instagram about it, as well as in the den. There is a call out that we are looking for Expect Me merch. So we are doing this the same way we did the logo. Is if you have an idea of how to beautifully or not, grotesquely, who knows, put Expect Me onto merch. We said a t-shirt, but as we know, all of our merch through Redbubble can be on stickers, pins, aprons, duvet. I'm still waiting for the person who gets the Fade to Obsidian duvet.
What's the prize for that again? Is there a prize for that?
I think we buy you a drink is what happens
Perfect.
if you get the duvet.
Perfect.
Okay. If you design Expect
That's our
Me,
standard. We get you a drink.
That's our go-to.
It's on brand.
Well, but this time around, if you are, we're gonna host it to a vote, so it will not be, and we will not rig the vote. We will be
No,
true.
I
To whoever
I don't know how to
wins.
do the Cub Scout thing, but I think it's like this. My fingers don't work that way. I can't.
I'm just gonna.
You can't hold three.
Can you
You
not?
can't.
I pull wrenches all day. My hands are not flexible. This is
Okay.
this is my. This
Oh, I
is
mean,
far
yeah,
back as I can go.
that's not super great for me on my right arm either.
Okay,
For
we're
similar
learning new
reasons.
Skipper's really good.
Um,
at this one.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, so actually on that note, it is not a drink. It is this time around, if you win the contest, if enough people vote for yours, we are giving you 50% of all profit. It's not a lot.
Royalties.
On a t-shirt, it
In
means
perpetuity.
Yes, for sure. On a t-shirt, it means like a couple dollars. On a sticker, it's like 15 cents.
A couple
Yeah,
cents.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will give you royalties on that. So that is in the den. There is a thread in Fade to Obsidian. You will find the Expect Me merch thread. Drop
Yeah.
your ideas in there. We're
Slink
gonna
has
let
been called out.
yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tell them to
Yeah.
expect me.
I don't think we have a date yet for when that ends. Let's say at the moment end of January.
once we get one we like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bring
we'll
your
give
A
you a
game,
bit of
guys. We want to
time.
make this a short competition.
Yeah.
No, let's say by the end of, I mean, our last episode is with Salem, so the episode previous to that. So we're looking at first week
Yeah,
of
and we'll
February.
announce it with Salem.
We'll announce it with
Yeah.
Salem.
All right.
So first week of
seems
February
fair.
is when you have until, so that's a full month
So
from when
like
we're
5 weeks since this or from when this
when we're
airs?
recording, which no,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like 4 weeks. We're recording early.
They got about a month.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get
Plenty
after
of
it.
time. Yeah.
So that is
Get up
that.
at it.
Join the Patreon. Bond is one of our Patreon members. Thank you so much, Bond. There is
I just finished his postcard the other day.
Good work. There is
Good stuff.
2 tiers. There is one that you can join for $2 US that just gets you all access to all of the things, including us playing games. I will soon be playing as a sentient corn, apparently.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for that. So
I must
this is this is enticement for our non-patron listeners. I have played this game. It's called Maize, Maize, as in corn. 2 scientists have created sentient corn, and you play a game. That is all I will say. But I have made multiple people play through it. I have played through it myself. It is hilarious. We're going to watch Skipper play through it and maybe get drunk and heckle her. Because that's the vibe.
Okay.
My guess is this is going to happen in the January 20s. I just got my work schedule, and that's a good week for this to happen. So join the Patreon as you are watching this. At the $2 level, will get you access to me apparently being sentient.
It's like a 3-hour game, depending how good you are at puzzles. 4 if you're not. Like, it's tight.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'll watch that one and heckle a bit. That's fine.
Yep.
Great. There's that tier. The $5 tier gets you a postcard like Bond gets. And we are getting rid of the Skipper $100 tier, and we're dropping it down to a $50 tier in which you can have a private one-on-one with Crescent and I playing chess. Why you would want that, I don't know.
If you've watched us play It Takes Two, you know how it will go.
Yep. I know. We also, I think, moving forward every month, are gonna have a different ridiculous $50 or $100,
we're gonna switch
depending
it up.
on what it is.
Maybe one month it'll be 10. Maybe it'll be something that's like, we want to do this. Like, this sounds amazing.
So just throw it in
Pay
there.
us a little extra. And, yeah.
Maybe for $100 I jump back in the Atlantic Ocean. Who knows? The other thing is that
Fuel the chaos.
Join the Atlantic Ocean is that the Patreon also gets some of our cut scenes. Some of them are not interesting, so it's not every week. Sometimes we literally just like go to the washroom and come back.
Yeah, it's like I've disappeared.
But last week we talked all about Steamboat Willie and coming into public domain. This week, me in the Atlantic Ocean, and you will only get that access if you are on the Patreon. So yeah, and even the $2 will get you in there. So that is it. We are perfectly at 2 hours recording time, so I'm gonna call it.
Look at us go!
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I gotta make supper.
Same.
Thank you so much, Bond.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
course.
everybody, for listening, for watching. Like and subscribe. I have been told that it does light up when I say the
Yeah.
words like and subscribe.
Oh.
So go onto YouTube. Fox told me that.
Wah, 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 wah.
Like and subscribe. And have a good night.